let's go to the Big 12, Sean, in a game of
Hey,
future Big 12 rivals. Not Big 12 rivals yet.
yeah,
This is the last year of BYU as an independent. They're going to be joining the Big 12 as long as the Big 12 is still a thing moving forward. BYU will be in the Big 12. And the nice thing about that is the Big 12 starting next year will actually have 12 teams in it. Imagine that.
look at that.
How crazy is that? A conference that's why that's the only thing I've ever respected about the Pac 12 because they always went by the number of teams actually had. They were the Pac 8 when I was a kid, then they
Right.
became the Pac 10, and then when they expanded, they became the Pac 12. Right? Imagine that. And, to me, I want to look at it from the standpoint of actually, did they go to 14 in the last couple of years and then didn't change? I keep forgetting this. Hold on, let's see, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. No, they're still 12.
No,
Okay,
that's well.
they're
Yeah,
still 12. I thought so. So this is a big one for both teams.
yeah,
Baylor right now is the higher ranked team. Baylor comes into this matchup ninth. I think a lot of that is built on last year. We're going to find out is Dave Aranda able to reload because they lost a lot of NFL talent off their team last year, which was the Big 12 champs, and went and played an SEC team in a bowl game and whooped them,
yeah,
physically whooped them. And then you've got BYU. They're an upstart. Their coach has done a tremendous job. I mean, he was kind of on the hot seat 3 years ago, has really gotten this program going. Their offense is dynamic. They've got a really impressive dual threat quarterback in Jaron Hall who can beat you from the pocket and can do things with his legs. So he's
yeah.
a true dual threat, not a run throw guy. To me, those are different. Anthony Richardson, run throw. Jaron Hall, dual threat. There's a difference. I really like this BYU team. They're not super athletic. The running back they got from Cal had a big first game against South Florida.
Yeah.
I had a buddy of mine call me. He's like, I think South Florida's got a shot to beat them. I was like, oh, I guess we'll see. And they stomped South Florida. So I like BYU here, Sean. I went, my score prediction was BYU 30, Baylor 20, because I just don't think Baylor has enough offense to win a game like this. Now, I may be giving BYU a little too much on the 30 because Baylor's defense is going to be really good again. But again,
Well,
I just think they lost too much to be that good in game 2. And they played Albany in the opener, an FCS team that went 1-8 last year.
yeah,
What do we really know about how good Baylor is? So
yeah,
I see BYU getting a big win this year. And they also got looking for a little redemption too, Sean, because the game isn't going to be in Provo. That was the only Power 5 loss that BYU had last year. They went 5-1 against Power 5 teams last year. The only loss they had in Waco against the Bears, who beat them by 2 touchdowns. I think BYU gets redemption this year, Sean. What say you?
Yo, wake up call. Stepping up from Albany, like you said, to face the Cougars.
Mm-hmm.
Late night in Utah. Not only will the Bears be tested, but their lungs will be tested. I
Mm-hmm.
think BYU jumps out to an early lead, and I think Baylor jumps back into the game and makes it close late. But Jaron Hall, like you said, fantastic quarterback, has just enough to get them over the hump at home and is going to set up an undefeated BYU for Notre Dame to face in Las Vegas. See, I looked at this game with my heart, Brian. I looked at this game with my heart. I need BYU undefeated
Yes.
when they face Notre Dame.
D-Rock is with you, Sean. He's
Yes,
with you.
yes. I need them undefeated. I think BYU is going to jump out early, and the crowd's going to be in it. And Dave Aranda and his tough-minded Bears, they're going to fight back. They're going to fight back. They're going to find a way to make plays. And just look, I understand they might be better, but this is the same BYU crew that gave up how many points to Virginia in the win? They won the game.
49.
Virginia
Yeah.
was moving up and down the field. And I think
When they gave up 38 to Baylor too,
yeah,
and 31 to USC.
yeah. So
So
I think Baylor's going
yeah,
to be able to score at some point. I just think it's going to be too much too late
yeah.
when they finally
Now
get
they
off.
did hold Arizona to 16 and Utah to 17 and Arizona State to 17, but they gave up 26 in a loss to Boise, 38 in a loss to Baylor. They held Washington State to 19. Then a week
Yeah.
later, they give up 49 to Virginia. They were a bit schizophrenic last year defensively.
Mm-hmm.
The thing is, though, they do have a lot coming back, and I think that's the thing for me. But I think that's going to be. And we have some scores down here. Uh, I'd be shocked if it got to that kind of scoring. But my 20 for Baylor has more to do with their style of play and just what they lost. That's really what it boils down to for me.
Yeah.
I think they lost a lot. I mean, losing a 1,000-yard runner, and actually they lost both of their running backs from last year, I believe. So, to me, I just don't think they're going to have the horses. But I'll tell you what, from a Notre Dame standpoint, clearly, Sean, you want this to be a win for BYU.
Yeah.
But for me, just looking at it from a true analysis standpoint, I just think BYU has the better team right now. If they played in 2 months, maybe it might be different. Because I'm a big Dave Aranda fan, and those, the quarterbacks. I mean, he's only making his 4th start this week.
Yeah.
Now he's played well. I mean, in his 4 starts, he's had to play Oklahoma State in that Big 12 title game. He had to play Ole Miss in the Sugar Bowl, right? And then now he's got to play BYU on the road.
Yeah.
So the kid's getting tested. But I just think for this game, I just think BYU has a little bit too much firepower, and I think Baylor's going to eventually get rolling. But I just feel like they're going to take a little bit of a step back. I mean, here's the thing, Sean. His first full recruiting class are sophomores.
Yeah.
Like I said it during the summer, I think he kind of they got too good too fast, meaning not that it was anything wrong with last year, but like the expectation, like, okay, this is just who they're going to be. Give them 2 to 3 more years before they're there. If Dave Aranda stays, then they'll get to that point because he's going to recruit athletes. They're going to be well coached. They're going to be disciplined. They're going to know how to play. And they're going to be
quarterback coming in.
Yes.
In this class. So you're right. And for me in this game, the 2 things that I had written down, Jaron Hall, even though they lost last year, he still threw for 342.
Yeah.
So I think Jaron Hall is going to be able to put up points. That's why I expect them to jump out early.
Yep.
But then again, look, I was impressed in the bowl game and I was impressed in the Big 12 championship game with Jeff Grimes.
Yes.
I really was.
Getting the most out of the talent he has. Is that what you're referring to?
Yes, and the usage of the talent.
Right.
I think early on, especially in that championship game, he really threw the pass rush and the aggressive nature of that front 7 for Oklahoma State off because he was really allowing the tight ends to get in behind the linebackers. Yeah. So they made some really big plays with their tight ends early in that game. And I think it affected the linebackers. Then they started to get the run game going. And he did a great job mixing up his play calling and setting things up. And then they were able to hold on late in that game for the win. Yeah. And he impressed me in the bowl game with his play calling. Yeah. And once again, I think Jeff Grimes is going to do a good job. Early on, I think the crowd, the environment, I think that BYU defense is going to be ready to play. And it's going to give Baylor some problems offensively because they're going to have to get used to everything. Yeah. And then once Baylor settles in, I think they're going to be able to move the ball and score and run the ball and be a little bit physical with BYU. But like I said, BYU, once they get out in front by 10-14, they're going to control the pace of the game. And then I think they'll be in position where they're able to hold on and win.